Have you ever had that moment where you're staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., wondering, why hasn't anything changed? You've read the books. You've written the goals. You've done the journaling, lit the candles, made the vision board. You've tried to think positive, be grateful, and raise your frequency. But still, you're stuck. You keep hearing people say, manifest your dream life. But the only thing manifesting right now is more confusion, more frustration, and a growing sense that maybe it's just not working for you. And maybe, just maybe, you've started wondering, is it me? Am I not spiritual enough? Am I doing something wrong? And the answer is no. You are not the problem. But the version of manifestation you've been sold? That's the problem. You see, most people are trying to wish their way into a breakthrough. They're waiting, hoping, dreaming. But here's the truth, and it might sting a little. Wishing is not manifesting. Wishing says, I hope it happens someday. Maybe the universe will surprise me. I'm visualizing, so why isn't it working? Manifesting, real manifesting, says, I'm preparing. I'm becoming the person who's ready. I'm training my brain, my emotions, and my actions to move in the same direction. Let me break this down right now before we go any further. If your thoughts say one thing, but your actions say something else, and your emotions are rooted in fear, lack, or doubt, then you're not manifesting. You're just mentally multitasking. And the universe, your subconscious, and your nervous system? They're not sure what you really want. And that's why this video is going to be different. Not fluff. Not surface-level affirmations. Not just raise your vibe talk. We're going to go deep into what manifestation actually is, why it hasn't worked for you yet, how your brain responds to belief and visualization, what high performers do differently, and how to build your own manifestation system that runs even on your worst days. And I want you to hear me when I say this. You are not broken. You do not need to fix yourself before life gets better. You just need to start using a system that works with your biology, your psychology, and your reality. So if you've been dreaming of a new income stream, trying to leave a job that drains you, visualizing a relationship that aligns with your values, hoping for peace, clarity, or a new chapter in your life, but you're stuck in the same cycle of start-stop frustration, then listen. This is your moment. Because by the end of this video, you'll walk away with a step-by-step method to reprogram your habits, your focus, and your future. A method that works even if you're tired. A method that works even if you've failed before. A method that doesn't rely on perfect conditions, a full moon, or a perfect mood. But here's the catch. You need to stay until the end. If you're the kind of person who skips around, listens with one ear, or clicks away halfway through, you'll miss the moment that ties it all together. Because in final part, we go beyond theory. That's where we'll talk about reprogramming identity, not just behavior. That's the level where real change happens. But you have to earn it. So stay with me. Lean in. Take notes if you have to. And by the end, you'll walk away with a strategy that works, and a mindset that finally feels like home. Ready to stop dreaming and start directing your life? Good. Then let's begin. The misconceptions killing your results. Let's clear the fog. Because right now, you're probably manifesting all wrong. Not because you're lazy. Not because you don't believe hard enough. But because most of what you've been taught was designed to sound spiritual but produce nothing. The first lie. Manifesting means doing nothing. You've seen it. That dream-chasing influencer lying on a beach, saying, I just aligned my energy. And the money appeared. No business model, no strategy, just vibrations. And while mindset is absolutely powerful, it is not magic. If all you do is close your eyes and hope, you're not manifesting. You're avoiding responsibility. The second lie. You have to be positive all the time. Let me say this with love. You are a human being, not a robot. You will have fear. You will have doubt. You will feel resistance. But manifestation doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence. Real manifesting doesn't say, I can't feel fear. It says, even with fear, I still act. The third lie. Just visualize it and it will come. Visualization is powerful, but only when combined with movement. Think about it. If you close your eyes and imagine a dream life, but then wake up and take the same self-sabotaging actions, nothing changes. Visualization is the rehearsal, but it only works if you also step on the stage. Why these lies are so dangerous? They create false hope. Then when things don't change, they create self-blame. You start thinking, maybe I'm not high vibe enough. Maybe I didn't believe hard enough. Maybe I'm the kind of person success skips over. And slowly, you stop trusting yourself. That's the real danger. Not that the dream didn't show up, but that you stopped showing up. The truth. Manifesting is not a shortcut. It's not about bypassing reality. It's about aligning your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors so clearly that your life has no choice but to shift. And yes, there is room for magic. But real manifestation is magic plus method. And that's what we're doing in this video. We're trading hype for habit, trading theory for traction, trading surface level for soul level clarity. Reframe this today. Old thought versus new manifestation mindset. Before, I have to be high vibe 24/7. Now, I show up with self-awareness, not perfection. Before, I shouldn't have doubts. Now, I make space for doubt and move anyway. Before, just thinking about it is enough. Now, thinking plus feeling plus action equals alignment. Because once you start thinking like this, you stop chasing miracles and start building momentum. What manifesting really is, science and identity. So now that we've cleared the lies, let's talk about what manifesting actually is. Because once you understand this, you'll stop asking, why isn't it working? And start asking, what am I programming my brain to believe today? Here's the truth. Manifestation is not magic. It's not luck. It's a form of mental conditioning that rewires your subconscious to create the future you want. It's what elite athletes, CEOs, Navy SEALs, top performers, and scientists do all the time. They don't call it manifesting. But it's the same thing. Example. The Olympic secret. Olympic athletes don't just train their bodies. They train their brains to see success before it happens. Skiers visualize every turn, every jump, every gust of wind. Their coaches walk them through sensory-specific rehearsal. Feel the snow under your boots. Smell the cold air. Hear the cheering. Because the brain doesn't know the difference between real and vividly imagined. Why this works? Your brain has a part called the reticular activating system, the RAS. Its job to filter the world and show you what matters. So if you constantly focus on what's missing, you'll see more lack. But if you train your brain to see opportunity, possibility, alignment, and action, that's exactly what you'll start noticing and creating. This is why people say, once I got clear, everything changed. They weren't imagining results. They were training their mind to stop filtering out what they needed to see. Visualization isn't fluff. It's a performance tool. When you visualize, you're not pretending. You're preparing. You're building neural networks that tell your body, we've done this before. Let's go. Confidence isn't magic. It's memory. Even if the event hasn't happened yet, your brain builds it like a rehearsal. Here's the shift. Stop thinking of manifesting as sitting still and waiting. Start thinking of it as mental weight training. The same way you train muscles in the gym. You're training belief, resilience, clarity, and emotional stability. You rehearse who you become. If every day you rehearse being stuck, being unlucky, being broke, being behind, being overwhelmed, then guess what? That's what your subconscious prepares for. But if you rehearse clarity, courage, bold decisions, showing up, finishing what you start, then you begin to build the identity of someone who finishes, someone who earns, someone who attracts what they've trained for. Manifesting isn't asking, it's aligning. Align your thoughts, align your emotions, align your actions. When all three speak the same language, the world listens. The step-by-step manifestation framework. So now you understand. Manifestation isn't magic. It's preparation. Your brain responds to clarity, emotion, and repetition. And you are already manifesting, even if it's the wrong things. Now let's build a system. Not just a habit. A system. The three-part framework. See it, feel it, act it. This framework works because it taps into all three channels of how the brain wires itself. Visual, emotional, and behavioral. Do this daily. It takes 10 minutes, but it rewires everything. Step 1. See it. Clarity plus focus. Start each day by visualizing exactly what you want. But not like a wish. Like a mental movie. Not more, I want more money. Instead, I see myself checking my bank account with joy after being paid for my own business. Include the setting. What you're wearing. What you're hearing. Who's there. How your body feels. Why? Because specificity builds belief. Step 2. Feel it. Emotional conditioning. Your nervous system learns by emotion. So now, feel the energy of it being real. Not more. I hope. But I'm already in it. Ask yourself, what emotion would future me feel here? How would I breathe, move, carry myself? What would it feel like to know this is mine? When you engage emotion, your body starts encoding the vision as truth. That's the difference between daydreaming and neural installation. Step 3. Act it. Small identity actions. Manifestation only works if you move. The emotion primes the body. The action proves it. And here's the trick. Make the action small, but aligned. Examples. Want to write a book? Open the doc and write one sentence. Want to launch a brand? Film one 30-second video. Want to become debt-free? Log your account activity today. Want to change your body? Walk for 5 minutes and track it. Every small step tells your brain, we are the kind of person who does this. Daily rhythm. Habit loop. This isn't about hours of prep. It's about micro habits that build macro belief. In the morning, visualize it, 3 minutes. And feel it, 2 minutes. At midday, take one action aligned with the goal. In the evening, reflect. Did I act like the version I'm becoming? Yes or no? Why or why not? Script it. For maximum power, journal one page as if it already happened. I'm so grateful I launched my online course. I recorded with clarity. The first 10 students signed up today. I paid off another $500 of debt this month. I'm no longer afraid to check my bank account. This activates the language center of the brain, reinforces visual recall, and increases emotional encoding. Remember, the brain learns by pattern, not pressure. You don't have to convince your brain in one perfect session. You just need to keep repeating small, clear patterns until it says, got it. This is who we are now. Quick pause. If this video's hitting home for you so far, do me a small favor. Tap that like button so YouTube knows this is the kind of content that matters. And if you're the kind of person who loves leveling up, clarity, and turning ideas into real results, Go ahead and subscribe now, because I've got way more coming that builds on this. Finally, if someone came to mind while watching, hit that share button. It might be exactly what they needed to hear today. The identity gap that's blocking your manifestation. Okay, let's talk about the hidden wall most people hit when they start manifesting. You've got the vision. You've got the process. You're visualizing, journaling, acting, and still, you don't feel like it's clicking. There's this invisible resistance. Like you're doing all the right things, but part of you still doesn't believe you belong there. Here's why. You're trying to manifest a future using a past identity. You're trying to build wealth, but still see yourself as the broke one. You're trying to attract love, but still carry stories like, I'm hard to love. You're trying to create impact, but still feel like, I'm not the kind of person who finishes anything. Identity is the engine. Goals are just the map. If your identity says, I'm not consistent, then even with the best plan, you'll quit. If your identity says, I've always been broke, then even when money shows up, you'll sabotage it. Why? Because your subconscious is trying to keep your life consistent with your self-image. And that's not a flaw, that's how the brain protects you. It values certainty over success. It says, we've survived with this belief. Let's stick with it. How this shows up. Ever catch yourself thinking, who do I think I am? People like me don't do that. I'll never be like them. I always quit. It's probably too late. That's not your truth. That's your past identity talking. You need to build identity first. Habits follow. It's not, once I change my life, I'll feel like a new person. It's, once I start feeling like a new person, I'll change my life. Exercise. Meet your future self. I want you to get clear, today, on who you're becoming. Not just what they have, but who they are. Ask yourself, what do they tolerate and no longer entertain? What do they say no to without guilt? What kind of thoughts do they let stay? What does their calendar look like? How do they talk about money, success, setbacks? Then, begin matching your current habits to that identity. Not the one you're leaving behind. Affirm this daily. I'm building discipline, not chasing motivation. I'm a finisher, not just a starter. I'm ready for more, and I'm becoming someone who can handle it. My identity expands as my vision grows. Because when your habits match your identity, manifestation becomes automatic. Quick note, don't wait to feel ready. You won't. Your nervous system will resist it. That's why we build trust by showing up in small, doable ways. The identity comes from action. The action proves your belief. The belief reinforces your identity. The emotional resistance behind stagnation. You've built the vision. You've taken the small steps. You're saying the affirmations, journaling, showing up. And yet, you hit a wall. Not always obvious, but it's there. A kind of emotional friction. You start procrastinating. You suddenly feel tired. You pull back. Not because the goal isn't real, but because your emotional wiring says, this version of life doesn't feel safe yet. Here's the truth. Your body keeps score, and so does your subconscious. So when you start building a life that's bigger than what you grew up with, or different than what your environment expects, your nervous system goes, wait, do we even deserve this? Will people still love us if we change? Are we about to get hurt? The 3 most common emotional blocks. 1. Fear of rejection. You think, if I become successful, I'll lose my people. If I grow too much, I won't be relatable. So you shrink. You downplay your wins. You sabotage visibility. Why? Because your body wants to stay connected, even at the cost of your calling. 2. Guilt from childhood or culture. You were taught, we don't talk about money. Who do you think you are? That's selfish. You're too much. And now, when you go for more, your nervous system registers it as betrayal. But here's the truth. You're not betraying your roots. You're breaking the limits that were passed to you unconsciously. 3. Unworthiness. This is the quiet killer of dreams. You say, I want success. But deep down you feel, I don't deserve to have it easy. Other people are better equipped. I failed too much. And so, when the opportunity shows up, you reject it before it can reject you. This isn't self-sabotage. It's self-protection. Your mind isn't trying to ruin your future. It's trying to protect you from old pain. And here's the healing part. You don't need to fight that pain. You need to sit with it, see it, and say, I love you. But we're not going backward anymore. How to move through emotional resistance. 1. Name the emotion. Write this. What's the emotion that shows up when I move closer to my goal? 2. Ask this. Where did I learn this feeling? Is it mine? Or inherited? Did I pick this up from my parents, community, religion, school, or past failures? 3. Rescript the narrative. Old, if I win, I'll lose my people. New, if I grow, I give my people permission to grow too. Old, this feels selfish. New, this is responsible. I'm modeling what's possible. Old, I'm not enough. New, I'm becoming enough. Daily, consistently, with love. Affirm this. I'm allowed to feel fear and still move forward. I'm rewriting what success feels like in my body. I no longer confuse struggle with worthiness. It's safe for me to expand. It's safe for me to feel peace and still progress. Because emotional blocks aren't your enemy, they're your next level. The faster you meet them, the faster you lead yourself through them. Building manifestation momentum without motivation. Let's be honest, you won't always feel like doing the work. You won't always wake up inspired. You won't always feel high vibe. And that's exactly why most people fail to manifest long-term. They think manifestation is an emotion, a spiritual high, a burst of clarity that floats in once a month. But here's the truth. Manifestation is not about motivation. It's about momentum. Why momentum beats motivation? Motivation is inconsistent. It depends on weather, hormones, the moon, your sleep, your mood, your inbox, and 1,000 other variables. But momentum? It doesn't care how you feel, because it runs on pattern, not passion. And when you build small daily patterns, they carry you on the days you want to quit. The habit loop that makes manifestation inevitable. Let's build a discipline loop that turns manifesting into a rhythm, not a reward. 1. Trigger. Something that reminds you of the action, like waking up, making coffee, ending a meeting. Example, after my morning coffee, I visualize my goal for 3 minutes. 2. Action. One micro behavior aligned with your future identity. Example, I record one short video every weekday. Even when it's messy. I track my spending for 60 seconds daily. I open my script doc and write one line. 3. Reward. This part is key. You must signal your brain, doing this means a win. So either celebrate it mentally, I'm proud of myself. Or physically, breathe, stretch, smile, or say it out loud. The 2-minute rule for action. If it takes more than 2 minutes to get started, you won't do it consistently. So break every habit down to this. What's the smallest action I can take today that proves I'm aligned with my vision? Examples. 1 paragraph of journaling. 1 cold email sent. 1 client outreach. 1 line recorded. 1 price list updated. Do that enough days in a row, and you stop being someone who hopes. You become someone who moves. Remember, consistency builds self-trust. You don't need a vision board to manifest. You need self-trust. And that comes from showing up. Not once, not twice, but again, and again, and again, until your nervous system says, "This isn't a dream, this is who I am now." The 5 wins system. To make this sustainable, track 5 micro wins each day. I visualized clearly. I felt emotionally connected. I completed one small action. I noticed where I was resisting. I affirmed my future self. You can write this, or voice note it, or just reflect on it every night. But stacking wins is what builds the identity of someone who finishes. Affirm this. I don't wait to feel ready. I build rhythm. I'm not addicted to motivation. I build systems. I trust myself because I show up even when I don't feel like it. I manifest through movement, not magic. What to do when you fall off, how to restart without shame. Let's have a real talk. You're going to fall off. It's not if, it's when. There will be days where you forget to visualize. You skip your journaling. You stop taking action. You doubt the whole thing. You feel like quitting altogether. And here's what matters most. What you do next. What most people do, and why it kills momentum. They beat themselves up. They say things like, "I always do this. I'm not cut out for this. I knew it wouldn't work. I'll just restart next month." Then they spiral. Then they stop. And they wait for a perfect mood to start again. But you don't need motivation. You need a reboot strategy. Introducing the reset in 24 rule. If you miss a day, that's human. If you miss 2 days, that's a pattern. So when you fall off, use this reset in 24-hour system. The 3-step reset formula. 1. Pause the spiral. Sit for 2 minutes. Breathe. Ask yourself, why did I fall off? Was I tired, triggered, distracted? What do I need to feel safe enough to begin again? The goal isn't blame, it's data. Don't shame it. Understand it. 2. Do one micro-aligned action. Forget catching up. You don't need to rejournal 3 days or make up for lost time. Just ask, what's the smallest thing I can do today to prove I'm back in motion? Examples. 1 voice note to your future self. 1 60-second visualization. 1 micro decision toward your next level. 3. Declare your return. This step is powerful. Don't keep your comeback silent. Say it out loud. I reset with clarity. Falling off doesn't define me. I restart as many times as it takes. Manifesting isn't about never slipping. It's about learning to rise faster and with less guilt every time. Reframe failure as training. When you restart, you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. The person you are today, already smarter, already stronger, already more self-aware. Remember, the mind learns from repetition, not perfection. Kids don't learn to walk by standing still. They fall hundreds of times. But no one says, "Guess walking isn't for me." They get up again, because the fall is part of the wiring. And so is yours. This is who you're becoming. Someone who resets with grace. Someone who finishes. Someone who gets back in the game fast. Someone who no longer lets shame run the show. Affirm this. I don't need to be perfect. I need to be in motion. Discipline means returning quickly. I forgive the delay and choose the next right step. This is part of the process, not the end of it. Turning results into proof, reinforcing your manifestation loop. By now, you've learned the truth. Manifesting is more system than secret, more identity than inspo, more action than wishing. But there's one final key that most people never use. And without this, even the best manifestation habits will lose power. Here it is. You must turn your results into evidence. You must show your subconscious proof that it's working. Why? Because your brain is wired to repeat what gets rewarded. Think of it like this. Imagine you show up daily, journaling, visualizing, acting. Then suddenly, someone messages you about your offer. You hit a savings goal. You record a video that gets shared. What do most people do? They brush it off. They say, "That was lucky." Or worse, "It's probably just a fluke." And by doing that, you cancel the signal to your subconscious. What to do instead? When a win shows up, even tiny, celebrate it like confirmation. Say, "This is proof I'm aligned. This is the kind of thing that happens when I show up." More of this, please. Reinforcement builds the loop. Let's break this down. You visualize the outcome. You feel the emotion. You take micro-aligned action. A small result shows up. You celebrate the result as proof. The brain says, "Great. Let's repeat that." Now the loop is self-fueling. You don't need hype. You've got habit and history. The evidence journal. Daily reinforcement tool. Start a simple log. Just 1 page. Day 1. Micro win. Sent 1 pitch email. Emotion. Proud. Identity reinforced. I'm a builder who moves fast. Day 2. Micro win. Received unexpected $20. Emotion. Grateful. Identity reinforced. I'm a magnet for income. Day 3. Micro win. Got invited to speak. Emotion. Aligned. Identity reinforced. My message matters. Day 4. Micro win. Felt calm in a hard convo. Emotion. Steady. Identity reinforced. I lead with power and peace. This isn't fluff, it's how you train your reticular activating system, RAS, to seek more of what aligns. Energy follows attention. When you track your wins, not just your flaws, you rewire your nervous system for growth, not grind. It builds an emotional pattern of, "Things work for me. My effort gets results. This is real, not fantasy." Small wins equals big belief. Manifestation isn't just about getting what you want. It's about becoming someone who doesn't sabotage it when it arrives. And the best way to make that happen? Stack the proof. Rehearse your story. Repeat your alignment. Affirm this. I am creating momentum that multiplies. My results are proof of my progress. I trust what I'm building. Evidence fuels my energy. I don't chase success, I align with it. Turn vision into identity. You've made it. Not just to the end of this video, but to the edge of a new beginning. A moment most people never reach. Because while the world is filled with dreamers, it's starved for finishers. And if you're still watching, I already know something about you. You're not afraid of the truth. You're not here for surface-level advice. You're done waiting for permission. You're ready to take ownership of your future. Here's what you've learned. Manifestation isn't magic. It's mental rehearsal. Visualization trains the brain, but action proves the belief. Emotional resistance isn't weakness. It's a doorway. Consistency doesn't need motivation. It needs a loop. Results aren't accidents. They're evidence. Falling off isn't failure. Quitting is. You've been handed a framework. A full system. A strategy that doesn't rely on hype, but alignment, identity, and habit. Your final challenge. For the next 7 days, do this. 1. Visualize with specificity. 3 minutes. Not what you want, who you are becoming. 2. Feel the emotion of it already happening. Put it in your body, not just your mind. Smile like it's real. 3. Take 1 tiny aligned action. Nothing big. Just something that proves, I'm not waiting. I'm building. 4. Write down the win. Even if it's, I showed up. Log it. Celebrate it. Reinforce it. Then do this. At the end of the 7 days, ask yourself, who did I become? What shifted inside me? What am I now certain I can build? And don't just think it. Write it. Say it. Claim it. This is more than just a video. This is your reset button. This is your reclaim moment. This is where the version of you that always doubted finally steps aside and says, we're doing this now. For real. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to make the next aligned move. Then another. Then another. That's how lives change. Not overnight, but on pattern. I'm not hoping anymore. I'm building. I'm not a dreamer. I'm a creator. I return as many times as I need. I am becoming the person who manifests through action. Drop a comment right now and tell me, what identity are you building? What aligned action will you take today? Where have you been stuck? And how will you reset? And remember, you don't get what you want. You get what you train for. Start now. Show up daily. Become the person your future is waiting for.